Alright guys, so we're going to cover probably the safest and most conventional of the dock openings. So we're going to open pretty much the same way as we would for just about anything. Go on either your food or your wood, doesn't really matter which, and go on your hunt. You can just move all 4 villages, it's not really a huge concern. Pick Treasure Island, but this will be right for pretty much all the water maps really. It's probably one of the most stable and safe of the water openings, of the dock openings. This is, funnily enough, one of the maps where you probably will see warship play rather than this sort of style. But you will actually still see this on it because of its short rush distance between the 2 players as well. So we've found where we want to go on the waterline. We can actually take hunting dogs here. I like to as a personal preference because I feel like it saves you having to have an extra villager on the hunt pretty much at any point. Obviously I probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe gotten over onto that hunt slightly quicker rather than taking the wood. That's not really a big problem here. But the main thing is just to maintain that food eco just enough so that you can actually still produce vills while also getting enough wood. So you want 3 or 4 wood gatherers already at this point. Send a villager to go get the dock. And so far it's been pretty much the same style, pretty much the exact same thing as you would do in my other dock videos that I'm going to have with the opening. So you're going to want to train, probably 2 fishing ships is ideal, maybe 3. 2 is probably the sweet spot most of the time. And that's right, skirmish version of Treasure Island actually has a little hill here in the middle between the players. In normal PvP, there's just a flat surface, so it makes it even easier to rush, I find. And I am Celt, so I'm going to have to actually make 3 houses here before aging up, but it will save me 100 resources overall. It will actually make things a bit more expensive on the food. So I'm going up to 5 villages here on the hunt, and I will do this as Celt. And I've actually got her hunting there, as well as able to fish on the shoreline, so she doesn't have to move back. Unlike on other maps, where you probably will have to move it back to your hunt or your food. Or your woodline. And I am, like I said, I am Celt, so I can gather a little bit more food than I would on the other civs at this point. Still want to go up to 2 fishing ships and then age up. So, regardless of your dock builds, ideally you want to get 2 fishing ships and age in order to min-max the whole getting the dock to pay itself off and also not delay your age up by too much. But yeah, still want to age up between 15 and 17 villagers. 16 is probably ideal, but if you've got to delay the age up to take the villager by more than about 3 seconds, just take the villager instead. And you can actually afford to cut a lot of this. I've already got a bit of a bank of food. Still got this villager over here, so I've still already got 3 gatherers. And we'll go for a 3rd fishing ship, but then after that, you want to get a 3rd fishing ship just to give yourself a huge enough food eco down here that you don't have to rely on food for a little bit here, but you want the villagers you're going to train after you age up to go back onto this, because you also want to save up to get your barracks. Let these guys actually go straight on it. I know she's the one carrying resource, so just have it drop off. Go back onto the food. Now we're pretty much set up to go for military here and defend against early aggression. If I was already being attacked by spears, I probably would have tried squeezing that barracks a little bit quicker there. Possibly even cut the 3rd fishing boat. So, what I'm showing you in these guides, it's sort of like an ideal world, ideal scenario. We've even spent an extra 100 wood to get that gold gathering upgrade, which is going to be helpful once I'm actually starting my, 2 barracks and druid production. But I can get, 1 barracks here, just enough to defend and go town center. I can go 2 barracks, start to be a little bit aggressive for Celts and such. For the other civs, you might want to instead get, you know, a range or a stables alongside the barracks. Or in most cases, you're probably going to want to cut the barracks and go for your town center, so you can sort of equalize your resources. So I'm actually starting to bank a little bit of gold, and I'm going to have a bit more wood than I will stone here, so I can always move these guys across as well. Gonna make one more house there. And as you can see, my buildings most of the time are actually still inside of my town center, or only slightly outside of it. I mean, I'm getting a little bit lazy, if anything. Just in the guide videos, I really should probably have these right here. Just sort of between the gold and the stone, and probably right together, rather than having that gap. But things like house walling to block out raiders onto your wood lines is always quite nice. So you can have one like here, here, and here. And that, you know, it makes it very hard. You've only got to park a couple of spears there to really defend that. Whenever you are getting production, always make sure you actually are training things out of it, because there's no point spending on the buildings unless you're actually training shit. And we do want to gather a little bit of stone. Keep gathering more gold as well. My opponent's not pushing me on the water, so I can always invest in net lures, because that'll also pay for itself pretty quickly with the insane amount of stats it gives your fishing boats, particularly once they actually start to incur a bit of travel time. Always make sure you're training shit. Always try and spend the 800 resources for your town center and all the map control it's going to give you as quickly as you can here, once you've got the resources. In a way, it's sort of annoying I haven't got an ideal placement on that gold mine. Ah, well, stuff it. It's only a guide video. So I really, while I'm going for this, I really should have it defended as well. If you're ever placing a second town center outside the radius of your first, unless you've got 100 wood and 100 stone banked up to actually just delete it and place it somewhere else, it is nearly always worth having your whole army parked there just to make sure it goes up. Unless you're already raiding out on the map, dealing damage, stopping your opponent. Like, I can actually have a bit of a first crack here. You can also have these guys sort of split here, because this is a close placement. This is not ideal placement. Try and split them up around it so they've got less travel time back to the drop-off. Some more wood gatherers. Go Silver Age already. And I've already also in the situation, I mean, also in the ability to push through this. So I've actually got an army going a little bit quicker than I would have if I had have opened with the town center before the barracks. So I've been able to cover and defend a little bit easier, as well as, you know, start gathering for my... sorry. At the cost of a little bit of gathering, villager production time, you know, you basically get a whole lot more map presence than if you were to open with the barracks. With the barracks after the town center. So I'm starting to stutter a bit here. Drew is always very important for Celts. We'll get a couple of those in the way. And yeah, if you are playing a relatively quick Age 3 build, it is nice to actually start fitting in some armory as well, because while you're investing in that age up, your opponent could be investing in armory techs anyway, and if you haven't got all your age 2 armory techs, even if you've got the age up advantage over them, until you actually get champion upgrades, you haven't really got any benefit over them. And if they're ahead on armory, they can help nullify that to an extent. But yeah, guys, it's just a bit of an idea on how to open with a dock while still giving yourself a good amount of map control and defensive or raiding capability by going for the dock, getting 2 fishing ships and aging up, and then getting one production facility or 2, and then adding a second town center. Personally, I like to actually add 2. A lot of players would like to only add 1. And I think in the old meta of 1 gather rate per second, it was better to go one in the villages, or the town center to get the villages, than going 2. But I think these days, going for 2 and then getting the town center, just as good, if not better. Just because of the amount of map control it actually gives you. Yeah, guys, just a bit of a guide on fast stock openings. Cheers for watching.